San Diego, California. Salute. Hi, my name is Dave Georgeson. I'm the Director of Development, that's what I am, for the EverQuest franchise here at Sony Online Entertainment. And I'm here to talk about EverQuest 2 today with Nathan McCall and Paul Molina, who are both the content leads and lore supervisors and knowledgeable people about town that know everything about the background of the game and putting together the missions and the quests and all of that side of the fence.
That's an official title, by the way.
It's really long. Why
Yeah.
business cards like that big?
Yeah, pretty much that. So what we're going to do is talk a little bit about the upcoming Qeynos update, which comes out next Tuesday, right?
Oh, is it that soon?
Oh,
We
yeah,
should
I
probably
think-
go back to work.
I gotta go.
Next Tuesday, Qeynos will be updated, and we'll talk about that a little bit. We want to show a little bit of the artwork and stuff first, but the real focus of this webcast is going to be talking about something we don't talk about a lot, which is lore and story and what we're doing with the storytelling and the reasons why you want to come check out the content. So if you guys can run the screenshots that we had prepared. So that little commercial break, we fired the sponsor, so we're back to the show now. What we're doing is we put a lot of effort into the artwork, of course, for Qeynos, and of course we had also redone Freeport. But the difference, the visual difference between Freeport, old and new, and the difference between old and new Qeynos are substantially different. They're not as dramatic for Qeynos. Are there reasons for that?
Well, from a storyline perspective, when Lucan returned to Freeport, he was looking to make a statement. And so he's looking to rebuild his city for various reasons, a lot of which have to do with his grip over the city. Whereas with Antonia and with Qeynos in general, Qeynos really is more representative of what that city is. It's a place where people are free. It's more of a place of lightness, opposed to darkness, which is what Freeport.
Dramatically.
Yeah.
He needed to make a huge change.
No sound again.
You have sound.
Oh, we have sound.
Okay. So he needed to make a huge change there in Freeport, whereas Antonia really didn't have to make that big of a change. He made it to really let the people feel like they were safe and in a place that was good for them. He was consolidating his power.
Yeah, it's a measure of control.
Yeah, whereas she does not need to do that. She is making it better.
Yeah.
Is she a strong leader of her people, let's say like Lucan is, or is she in a kind of different situation than what Lucan is in?
Quite a different situation.
Yeah, the two rulers are dramatically different in the way that Antonia chooses to rule Freeport and ultimately look after her people is a lot different than the way Lucan would choose to do for her. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's a weaker leader. In a lot of ways, it makes her, I wouldn't say necessarily a stronger leader, but it's definitely a difference. I wouldn't say that she's weaker than him at all.
Taking more directly the citizens' safety and concerns to heart.
She's more about the people in the kingdom, whereas Lucan's more about Lucan.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why they don't have such a fundamental facelift is because she's basically not dragooning her people to go do all the work.
Exactly.
She's not trying to overrun anybody.
Yeah.
So she has to work within existing systems kind of thing?
Yeah, she's more about the rule of law, making sure that people are looked after and cared for, that situations are being addressed, concerns are being addressed, and that she is able to parse through different concerns and make sound judgments on what needs to be done. Whereas Lucan can just bull his way through whatever he wants.
Okay.
It's a lot different.
All right, so if her situation is significantly different, can you tell us a little bit about the kinds of situations that she has to deal with? If she's not totalitarian, what is she like? How does she have to work? Does she have a specific government or something she has to deal with all the time?
Well, she is the queen, and it's her job ultimately to make those decisions and to, as I was saying, like, take in the information from different concerned groups or different facets of the city and try to make the best decision she can.
But she does that with the Circle of 10, the council.
Exactly. There is a council that represents different factions and interests throughout the city that provide her with counsel, to provide her with information about the city and with the concerns of the people that they represent. Yeah. And they were actually the ruling body before Antonia returned to the city in the past. And so it's, she shares a bit of her power with them, but ultimately she is the queen and the ultimate authority of that city.
Yeah, she gets that final word.
Yeah. Veto power.
People follow her pretty lockstep then?
No. With freedom, anytime you have freedom that she's looking for, like she wants in her city, you're going to have people that will, dissension's just part of that. And so she allows...
As is debate.
It's debate and dissension and things that people that don't agree with her and may just outright dislike her for the decisions that she makes, because they may not agree with what she does, but they're free to do that in Qeynos. Whereas in Freeport, you're not free to do that. You can disagree with Lucan. It's the last thing you'll do, but you can do it.
Not to his face.
Not to his face.
So she's dealing with internal politics a lot, and she's having to work with her government structures that way.
Yeah,
and one of those government structures is this Council of 10.
Yeah, the Circle of 10.
Sorry, I keep saying council. Circle of 10.
Well, they are a council.
They are. That's
her council, but they're the Circle of 10.
They're Circle of 10.
Are there any other players on the stage besides her and this House of Lords kind of thing, Circle of 10?
There is.
Yes. So there was this shadowy figure from her family's past that has come back to the foreground and is once again stirring up some trouble.
Is there anything you can tell us about him?
Sure. He's some guy that you have seen previously. His name is Kyle Bale. And back previously, you had encountered him, I think as far back as Kingdom of Sky.
Yeah.
And you've seen him a couple times since then. He had died back in the day, and now he's basically a spirit in a suit of armor. And he then possesses certain people and tries to get his way and gain power. But he is here on the physical plane of Norath.
Oh, wait. So you're saying he's a suit of armor, and he's trying to come back to power by possessing people?
Well, he has already possessed some people and tried to achieve certain ends through this. But right now, he is making a play for the throne and causing some stir by approaching people that are already unhappy with her and the situation, how they've lost personal power.
Like maybe some people on the Circle?
There might be a couple there. Yeah.
They might be a little bitter.
Yeah.
So does she know it's happening? Does she know he's around?
Yes.
She's aware of it, yeah.
Yes. And not happy.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. All right, that's awesome. So we've got that stuff going on, and then of course there's all the combined army stuff that's going on, where she's sending off her forces to go with Lucan to deal with the whole
part of the overarching storyline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where a lot of her army is off as part of this combine. Right now they're in Witherlands. They've made it as far as Sky Shrine. They still need to make the meetings with the Clausivician. But that's where a lot of her...
Real briefly, just in case people haven't been following the story really closely while they played, because not everybody does.
Follow the story.
And you should.
Yeah, follow the story, because it's getting better and better all the time. But the Clausivician are, of course, the bad guys in the Sky Shrine stuff.
They're the good guys.
Sorry, good guys.
Yeah.
I misspoke.
No,
so they're the good guys on the Sky Shrine stuff, and they basically ask for help, right?
They request. That's what Lord Jelinek was doing in Thurgening. He's looking for help. He's looking for support for the Clausewitian because they are in dire straits. The Awakened, which is Carafirm's group of dragons, has them against the ropes, and they need help. And they've reached out to mortal help in the past, which they're doing again now. And not all the dragons agree with that, and that's another political struggle that we have going on.
So
'Cause
both
we seem to like
Freeport
those.
and Qeynos rallied to that call and sent people.
As well as several of the other cities.
Yeah.
You've got Kelethin and New Hallis. You've got
Nariak,
Gorwyn.
and even Nariak.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got all the major cities sending forces.
That's some fairly contentious personalities leading those groups.
Oh, yeah. This is not a happy family.
So how do the people of Qeynos react to being involved with people that are not really cool?
It would depend on who you ask, but definitely there's some people going like, why aren't the armies here? And that's actually something you explore throughout the quest lines, whereas her armies and a lot of her soldiers are gone doing this. And that takes support away from the city.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
Findom.
you're going to see a little bit of how these decisions and the stuff that she makes has fallout and has an effect on the people's opinion of her. And it can go both ways. Like it's not all entirely negative, but there's definitely people who are like, it would be nice if someone here was here to defend my farm, kind of thing.
So it's basically just the home guard remaining?
It's just the home guard.
So everybody
And
else is out in the
castle guard.
field.
Most everybody else is gone. Yeah.
So she has political intrigue happening inside the court and possibly even somebody who wants her throne directly.
Uh-huh.
Her army's out in the field.
Yeah.
Does she have anything going for her?
Well, see, and what that's not listing is the threats that are actually happening within Qeynos as
Right.
well.
Like what?
There's some threats being unleashed within some of the hamlets that need to be dealt with,
Yeah.
and so that have made them unsafe.
Oh, right. And you're not talking about that right now because that's stuff that gets revealed during the
That
game.
comes through in the storyline.
Yeah.
and
But there's
stuff
some
like that.
serious dangers.
Right,
and stuff
right.
going
So
on.
then
There's a
there's
lot to
even
do with it.
more things that are splitting the protective forces up even
Yeah.
further.
So it's a lot. She is definitely under a lot of pressure, and that's something that we explore. And you get to see how it affects her, how it affects the city, and how it affects those both on her side and against her. And we thought it was pretty compelling stuff.
So Qeynos was originally like level 1 to 15 content. There was some stuff in the neighborhoods and stuff. Or we didn't call them
something like
neighborhoods;
that,
they were
yeah.
hamlets,
Hamlets.
right? Hamlets. So that's going on, and of course now there's a lot more quests and stuff in there.
Yes.
What kind of level range is there when you go to Qeynos now? What's the level range?
We mirrored what was in Freeport, so you effectively start. Oh, well, you can start at level 1 because all of the racial quests are level 1.
Yep.
And
They
that will-
scale from 1 to
They scale
100.
1 to millions, whatever, whatever we decide to make the level. And then your level 80 content is where the end storylines take place.
And there's content all the way up through there.
Yeah, 20,
Like
40,
just like in
60,
Freeport?
80.
40, 60, 80.
That's awesome.
That get unlocked along the way, yes.
Yeah.
How many quests?
There is 103 new quests in all of Qeynos.
Nice.
That is 37 storyline quests. Those 37 are available to everyone of good alignment, but they open up at different level increments, as we were talking about previously. There's also 24 archetype-specific quests, so that's 6 specific per class archetype, and then 42 racial-specific quests. That's 3 per race.
So
That
if I
can be
go in
played
there as an elf,
Qeynos.
I get different racial quests than I would if I go in as a dwarf, so on and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So basically, there's a lot of content, regardless of how many alts I have. I can keep going back
Oh
in
yeah,
there and look at stuff.
and you'll get a different experience, or you'll see like the same event from a different point of view.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that Qeynos has a lot of threaded storylines. So whereas something will happen on the storyline quest or in one of the class quests, that will be mirrored someplace else in the storyline. And we wanted to make sure that it was a cohesive story that was told from different facets that if you run through one lane, you see it one way, and then if you happen to go through, like, I'm going to be a barbarian and I'm going to be a warrior instead of my Froglock wizard, then you might get pieces of the same story, but now they're told through this different lens.
Yeah.
And so we did that to make sure the story comes more alive that way. It feels more, like I said, more threaded, more cohesive. Like, it just makes the city feel like it's integrated better.
The one that I really thought was a great example was the Erudite quest. If you go through the Erudite racial quest and then you go through the Karen racial quest, there is a very clear collision of those storylines.
And they definitely come together at a certain point.
Well, that sounds really cool. We're starting to get close to running out of time here. Is there anything in summary that you'd like to mention that you think is particularly interesting or cool about Qeynos? Something that people should go and immediately look for when they arrive? Like, is there a quest giver or something like you should go look for
You'll
right away?
want to talk to Mararshar first, who's in Qeynos Harbor, and he will start you on the storyline course.
In fact, he'll guide you through.
Yeah.
He'll be the guy that you go back to repeatedly
Yeah.
to try and be like, okay, where do I pick up now? All right,
Yeah.
and give you the little meanwhile, and then get you back on track again.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the feedback on the test forums, and some of it has been fantastic. People talking about the level 80 content and some of the stuff that goes on, the high level stuff and how amazing it is and everything like that. Are you guys?
Test server was amazing.
They have been great.
I love test server. They've been so awesome.
Gave us lots of good feedback
They
this
did.
time.
They really
That's
did.
Great. It's absolutely great. So it sounds like something that everybody should check out. It's fairly level agnostic. It's available for all levels.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of content, obviously. And if you've got alts at any level, they can come back through and check stuff out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we're figuring out new ways to get more information out there. And I know that there's some improvements that are coming along down the way that'll make some of this stuff even better. But that'll come out in a few weeks after we release this. And we'll talk about that later. And then, of course, just to put a little caveat on it, a week or so after this comes out, we're still planning to release SOE Moat. So that's around the corner, too. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now inside EverQuest 2. And, of course, the expansion tidbits and details will start to come out in the next couple of months. Or next month or so. Is there anything else you'd like to add here before we wrap up?
No, I think that's good.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. We appreciate you coming by. We look forward to Qeynos Rises next Tuesday. And this is us signing off for EverQuest 2.
Thank you.